Alright, this is the value shading sheet for the beginning of our value unit. First things first, of course, put your name at the top. You can date it, and also please tell us the period that you are in, which hour. So the top part, this is just a simple 10-step value scale going from dark to light or light to dark. How you choose to do it is totally up to you, but this one should be completely dark as you can use your pencil, and this one should be left alone and completely white. Alright, so there is the value scale going from dark to light. If you saw, I had to erase one because it got too dark right there, and you can still see there's a little bit of a smudge, but try your best just to step it down gradually to make each one distinct. And please fill in your boxes completely so that we can see that it's done correctly. Now down here you're going to do the exact same thing, except you do not have the boxes set up. You're just going to make a value scale. Try and make it as smooth as possible going from dark to light. So I will start with my dark value. And just kind of clean up your sides. So again, now you can see it transitions from dark to light. The whole reason for using these value scales again is that if you can capture everything from the light to the dark in a drawing, it's going to look more realistic than if you're just kind of sticking to these middle grays. It doesn't push and pull the value enough to make it look three-dimensional. At the bottom, it says use the value shades from step 1, that's up here, to shade this sphere. It's a circle now, but it'll become a sphere. A little example. Unfortunately, the photocopy didn't go really well, but how this works is that the middle circle, that's going to be your lightest, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to touch it. The second little circle here, I'm going to do it just very, very, very lightly. And as you can see, the back end starts to disappear, so as we shade, it's going to start to look more and more three-dimensional. Then you just step it down, just like you did up there, except this time now you're moving all the way around. And it's very, very important as you're shading, and that's why these lines are here, to teach you to shade in the same direction as the shape. That helps the form look more realistic. So now this part is going to be considered my darker one over here, because this is going to be actually the core shadow. So this is going to be the darkest value you're going to push. And that also curves all the way around. But you'll notice behind it there's one more very, very, very thin circle. And that's actually your reflected light. So as the light comes down, hits your object, it goes around your object to the midpoint, then the backside will be dark, but that light also shoots down, hits the table, and bounces back up. So it's just a little bit lighter than your core shadow, which is this ring again. So you still shade it, don't leave it, you still have to put some value on it, you just want it to be a little bit lighter than your core shadow. Then your actual cast shadow, that you can also go fairly dark. With using just a pencil, oftentimes the cast shadow will be put fairly dark. Of course, all shadows are not pitch black, they're just darker than what they're sitting on top of. Since we don't know how dark this tabletop normally would be, we'll just shade it dark. And it should look something like that. On the back side, you have just a very, very large circle with a little small cast shadow. This is the same idea of where you're going to take your value and you're going to now, instead of being it stepped, like this one is stepped down for you and there's lines drawn in there, you want it to be a little bit more smooth. Oops. Like this one. So on the back side, you're going to see that there's just a one large circle now with a little small oval. This is going to be representative of the cast shadow, and this of course will turn into a sphere. It's this, you're going to do the exact same thing. The light's going to come down from right here. You're going to have your highlight, your midtones, your core shadow, your reflected light, and cast. But instead of it being stepped down like this one was, where the lines are drawn in there for you, you want it to be a little bit more smoother, like this value scale. You're still trying to incorporate all the value to make it look realistic, but now you don't have the lines given for you. So when I start this, I usually try to figure out if my shadow's given to me, I don't want to put my light on this side, because the light coming down this way would have a cast shadow going that way. I do want it to be on this side of the circle, but now we just have to figure out where is the best angle for that light to come down to give the cast shadow the look we think it would. If the light was coming here, it'd have a very, very, very long cast shadow. And if it was directly up and down, it would have just one right around. So it's a little off to the side, maybe about there. Once I've determined that, I will take and just give a very light outline as to where I want my highlight to be. Your highlight, again, is where you're not going to color or shade at all. That's going to be left alone. So just kind of gently put that in. From that point, you start to shade and use your light values. And just like on the small example on the other side, you want to go all the way around. All the way around your highlight. So I'm just about done. During the video, I think my highlight was too low, so I actually moved it up a little bit. So now it's a little bit closer to that edge. You don't want it on the edge, however. You just want it kind of close. So this, if you remember from our discussion, light things come forward and dark things get pushed back. So you need to have this edge back here with some value on it, just to kind of push it back into space to give that look of realism. And of course, if as you smooth out, that helps things look a little bit more realistic. Be careful, because it does tend to kind of make everything the same value. You lose a lot of those in-between grays by doing that. At the bottom, this is that highlight, that reflected light, not highlight, excuse me, highlights up there, reflected lights down here, and this will be your cast shadow underneath it. And again, we'll just push that really dark right now just to kind of lift the ball off the paper a little bit better. So that's about it. You want to do your best to try to make it look like turn a circle into a sphere. And once you can get that concept down, or at least as you understand that concept, drawing faces or anything else is not a lot different. It's pretty much about the same. All right, thank you.